Greetings, my name is Lourdes Valdez, and today I will be talking about redesigning the business process for the volunteer program at CSUSB. California State University San Bernardino is a center of intellectual and cultural activity in the inland Southern California. It opened in 1965 in the foothills of the beautiful San Bernardino Mountains. It serves more than 20,000 students each year, and it graduates about 4,000 students annually. It reflects dynamic diversity of the region, and it has the most diverse student population of any university in the Inland Empire. It has the second highest African American and Hispanic enrollments of all public universities in California. It offers more than 70 traditional bachelor, master degree programs, education credentials, certificate programs, and a doctoral program. The CSU is committed to maintaining an inclusive community that values diversity and fosters tolerance and mutual respect. CSUSB currently has about 2,000 employees, which consists of faculty and staff members. In addition, there's also student employees, interns, and of course, volunteers. The volunteer program. So individuals, which may be students, employees, community members, etc., may choose to volunteer for different reasons. It offers an opportunity to give back to the community or make a difference to the people around them. It can also offer the opportunity to develop new skills or build on an existing experience and knowledge. All volunteers at CSUSB must fill out the volunteer form and receive approval prior to volunteering. Background check flowchart for volunteers. So the very first step is to verify that your volunteer will not need a background check. And to do so, you must follow this flowchart and determine whether or not the position for the volunteer will require a background check. Next, after determining if the background check is needed, if it is needed, then they will have to go through the background check, then get processed into the system and be notified that they have been approved. If a background check is not required, they would simply be processed into the system and then they would be notified that they have been processed. The purpose of this process is that all volunteers have to be approved by HR for three main reasons. The first one is that we need to verify that if a background check is required, that we do comply by that. Secondly, if there's ever an emergency on campus while the volunteer is here, we need to be able to notify any emergency contacts that may be listed on the form. In addition to that, we also need to make sure that we have emergency contacts in case that there is an injury while volunteering. This will also cover them in the workers' comp insurance in case that they were to get injured while volunteering. Lastly, we need to look at the duties assigned and make sure that they're not doing any duties that would be done by a regular employee who receives compensation. Stakeholders. The main stakeholders is the Human Resources Department because they receive, approve, process, and retain all of the volunteer forms. Other major stakeholders include all of the departments on campus. Impact of the redesign. Redesigning the current process into an electronic system would mainly help the departments with easier access to the form, better tracking, and retrieval of the forms. The main question that we currently receive regarding the volunteer program is that they want to know if the volunteer will receive or need a background check. They want to know how long the process will take. They want to know the next steps, and also if they are approved and how quickly can they receive a parking pass. In addition, departments are also asking if they need to resubmit another volunteer form because their time will be ending soon. Impact of redesign. The call volume and the email traffic would definitely decrease in the Human Resources Department if individuals are able to access the forms online and view things for themselves. This automated system would also provide better customer service because, again, departments will be able to follow up as needed. It would also save a lot of paper and storage because each of these volunteer forms is 5 pages long. Information technology can improve the process. With the use of information technology, we can create an automated system that allows individuals and departments to submit their volunteer forms online. The system would easily be accessible through the Human Resources website and maintained by that department. The system could mirror the current fee waiver system that we are using in Human Resources. The improved process would be simple. Individuals and departments would submit the volunteer form. They would follow and track the status of the form, and then lastly, they would be notified once the form has been approved. Improvements, performance outcome, and the difference between the current system and the new system. Departments will not have to follow up regarding whether or not Human Resources has received the form. Departments will be able to better track the form and follow up on the status. Departments will be able to retrieve the forms and resubmit the forms as needed once the dates are coming to an end. Human Resources will be able to pull reports as needed and identify volunteers in each department and/or in total. Barriers and implications. One of the main barriers is the limited resources. CSUSB is currently going through a lot of technological changes, and there's a lot of things that are coming up that we must adapt to. IT personnel may not have the time and energy to work on creating a new in-house system to process volunteers. This system will need to be maintained in-house and will require further IT assistance in the future. There's a lot of pushback at the beginning of implementation. A lot of people still prefer to have the paper copies. Lessons and recommendations. It would be a good idea to receive feedback from the various departments on campus. This would allow for them to feel like they're a part of the process and they would be more willing to accept the different protocol. It would be an overall better response and the opportunity to work together.